I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, how the heck can I write a short story if I don't even know anything about short story? Well, my friends, you've come to the right place. This is a short story writing class, and the best way to learn about a short story is to have some skin in the game. So, kind of the model we've been following for the short story writing class, I mean, even back when I was a student in the class, was to write a short story first. And then after you write the short story, and after you've written it as authentic to what you think a short story is, then you start learning the components of short story, like characterization and plot and point of view and setting and, all of these finite components. And you can see immediately how to apply them to your own story. This helps also with the weekly writing posts, but it's when you have some skin in the game, like when you've already taken that step forward to commit to writing a short story, it's a lot easier for you to learn the components of what a short story is because you've already kind of begun the process. So I'm going to walk you through some of your assignment requirements here. I'm following the story draft 1 due 11:59 p.m. Sunday, February 3rd. If you want to click on that link and follow along. So this is where you submit the draft of your story. Please follow the instructions on the assignment sheet. And then I just, rather than typing out the assignment sheet, I just copied and pasted the text. So please remember that you're following all of your formatting conventions: Times New Roman, 12-point font, double space, heading and header. This is all manuscript format, so it's really important that you follow that. Your maximum is 10 pages. It cannot be longer than 10 pages. That's about 2,500 words. And this must be saved as a rich text file format. So your early draft assignment consists of 3 parts: the draft itself, the prompt line you use to start with, and 3 craft-based questions for me and your peer review group to respond to. Please note that these should not be reader response questions like, who do you think was hiding behind the door, right? No, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for craft-based questions like, do you think the dialogue was authentic? Did I use the character's name too often in dialogue? That kind of thing. And then I have a list of 12 prompts that I want your story to come from. And the reason for that is because I don't want you to just copy and paste a story that you wrote in the 7th grade. I'm hoping that you have learned something in your own writing journey before you get here. But I want you to write something for this class. It's part of my self-plagiarism policy. I want to make sure that everything you write in here is for here. And by the way, you can base it on a story that you have written before. I just want you to rewrite it and to follow the prompt when you rewrite it, if that makes sense. So you're kind of molding and shaping it a little bit more for the purposes of this class. Length matters. If it's too long, I'm not going to read it. And that doesn't mean I won't read the whole thing, but it does mean that if it's 11 pages, I won't read it. If it's certainly 15 pages, I won't read it. So make sure that you're following directions. Your questions can be onto the 11th page, but the writing of the story needs to stay on the 10. If you have any questions about the story itself, feel free to ask me, but ultimately I want you to tell the story that you want to tell. So, it's just one of those things that when I was in grad school, my mentor used to say, you need to write the story that you want to read. That seems fairly simple. The other one she said was, if you were going to die tomorrow and you could only write one story, what would it be? Yeah, that's way too intimidating. I couldn't do that one. But just follow the advice. Write the story that you would want to read. And or if you think about the perfect kind of story that you'd like to read and you haven't found yet, so then go ahead and write it. But that's what your assignment is for this short story. Don't overthink it. Just write a story. You will absolutely revise this. It does not have to be for perfect. And in fact, it's better if it's not perfect, because that means that your revision is going to be easier. All right, all. Happy writing.